It's always interesting to me when someone reads a bio, right? You're always just like, all right, let's get on with it. But then when they read your bio, it's like, my goodness. Wow. Get to the end, please. But good afternoon again, Razorback family, and all those who are here from the Northwest Arkansas community. I'm humble and thankful for this opportunity that I've been given to do the keynote address this afternoon. Thank you to the Associated Student Government, especially Morgan Farmer, for this invitation. I want to thank the Black Student Association as well for their participation in the Northwest Arkansas Martin Luther King Council, and a host of others. I also want to thank my parents for being here. They traveled all the way from here this morning, as well as my girlfriend taking off from Walmart to be here this afternoon.
And Tiffany Marie.
You're welcome.
Before I get into this afternoon, I have a host of heroes that I would be remiss if I did not recognize and pay homage to. These are individuals who gave me the opportunity to stand before you today. Individuals who, at around the same age as me, took a leap of faith in a nation filled with hate to stand up for their rights, to stand up for my rights, to even stand up for your rights. Individuals whose stories have faded into the background of American history, but who remains in the forefront of my gratitude, the forefront of my appreciation, yes, the forefront of my ability to thrive. I want to pay homage to Sister Arthrine Juanita Lucy, who was the first Black student to attend the University of Alabama in 1956. I want to recognize her for her resilience, her persistence. Sister Arthrine, you didn't know, is a woman who didn't let any barrier define her future for what she wanted to accomplish. She applied to the University of Alabama in 1952. Got accepted, then rejected because of the color of her skin. She fought and received a court order to attend the university, got admitted, and sat for her first class on February 3rd. It was a Friday of 1956. Rioting took place on the campus of the University of Alabama, and on that Monday, because of her safety, later on in the week and in the months to come, the court had her ineligible to remain at the university, but it was her persistence, it was her resilience, it was her strength and pride that allowed her to go back to the University of Alabama in 1988 after her expulsion had been voided, just to return to a place that didn't want her, a place with a student body that rioted in order for her not to be able to go and pursue an education, a place of hurt, a place of shame, a place of hate. But at the age of 59, the ripe age of 59, she got hers. Yes, she got hers 4 years later. She got her MA degree.
Yes.
Thank you, Sister Arthrine Lucy, for if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have shoulders to stand on and stand here this very day. I want to pay homage to Brother James Howard Meredith. We all know him, right? He is the first Black student to attend the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss, in 1962, in the midst of the most violent integration resistance demonstration in history. I want to pay homage to this man who didn't let mobs, he didn't let the word nigger, or he didn't let constant harassment turn him away from the ultimate prize. I want to pay homage to James Meredith. This man that walked through the valley of the shadow of death but didn't fear any evil because he knew that God was with him. Brother Meredith, I want to thank you, my brother.
Yes.
I'm glad you didn't give up. I'm glad you didn't give in, because you didn't let the word nigga break your back, break your spirit, break your heart, but it strengthened your passion, it strengthened your hunger, it strengthened your drive to find the rights for me to be in before you today. So, Brother Meredith, I am so glad you stayed the course and finished the race. Brother Meredith, I am so thankful that you were so strong that I and others are able to stand on your shoulders.
Yeah.
True.
Lastly, before I get into my message, I want to pay homage to a great individual who is connected to all of us. Connected in some kind of way. Pay homage to my twin because he shares my birthday. Pay homage to the late, great Silas Herbert Hunt, who pioneered this whole thing before the verdict of Brown versus the Board of Education even was read. I want to pay homage to this World War II vet who took it upon himself to further his education and had the unmitigated gall to apply and attend to, at that time, the all-white University of Arkansas. I thank you, Brother Silas, for your leadership. I thank you for your courage. I thank you for your strength. But without you, Brother Silas, where would we be? So thank you, thank you, thank you. But as today, we're looking to celebrate Martin Luther King. So Martin, without the faith, your obedience, leadership, your strength, your persistence, your courage, Martin Luther King Jr., Dr. King, where would we be? As I prepared my speech at Busboys and Poet in D.C., I reflected on his life, on his life's work. Even though he knew at an early age his death was inevitable, he trusted God to walk in his purpose. So Dr. King, as we celebrated your birthday a few days ago, we continue to celebrate you on today. I want to thank you for stepping into a situation, into a movement in Montgomery in 1955, a movement that you wanted no affiliation with. I want to thank you for preaching and teaching the power of a nonviolent movement that taught the oppressed not to defeat the white community, that taught the oppressed not to defeat or humiliate the white community, but to win the friendship of all the white men who were merely caught up in a system that taught them to hate. I want to thank you for your leading and sticking to this philosophy even after segregationists bombed your home and left you death threats. I want to thank you, Dr. King, because even after you were stabbed in the chest and they told you if you sneezed you would have died, you stuck to that nonviolent philosophy. I want to thank you for your public service to people all across the nation as they beg for freedom, justice, and equality. Dr. King, I want to thank you for leading and working with college students and high school students who publicized the bigotry and evils that were engulfed in the South. I want to thank you, Dr. King, for your leadership in Selma, Alabama, in the quest to receive voting rights for blacks in America. I want to thank you for beginning the Poor People's Campaign in Memphis, working all the way until your death. I want to thank you, Dr. King Jr., Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. I thank you for having a dream deeply rooted in the American dream that one day, Razorback family. I went to Memphis not too long ago, took a trip to 540 Mulberry Street. Some people have been there. Parked my car next to the white Cadillac that was in the parking lot. I went up the stairs, down the balcony, and knocked on room 306. Yeah, I went to go see Dr. King. I sure did. I had to talk to him about that one day he so infamously dreamed about. That one day he answered the door and said, "Joe, how can I help you, my brother?" I said, "Dr. King, you told us you had a dream that one day. You told us, Dr. King, that one day you had a dream." Well, Dr. King, we're still waiting for that day. It's 2016, and somehow we're still waiting for that day. Dr. King, you saw Emmett Till, Jimmy Lee Jackson, James Chaney, Medgar Evers get murdered out of hatred and by the hands of law enforcement, and you saw the killers acquitted. But Dr. King, I have seen the killing of Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Michael Brown, Sandra Bland, Freddie Gray, Walter Scott, and the names continue. Tamir Rice, and all by the hands of law enforcement. And I saw those killers acquitted. Dr. King, you had to endure the bombing of 16th Street Baptist Church and that killed 4 little girls attending Sunday school. But I had to endure the massacre of Emmanuel A&E Church in Charleston, South Carolina, where a racist bigot came and assassinated the president and 8 others just trying to have Bible study.
Right.
Dr. King, you said one day, Dr. King, you said one day you had to fight through racial slurs, being told to go to the back of the bus, having to go to the back of the restaurant to get some food. You had to endure signs that read whites only and blacks only. Dr. King, you feared the Ku Klux Klan. But I, Dr. King, am fighting through fraternities at the University of Oklahoma, surfacing systematic racial hatred at the University of Missouri, police brutality, divisive symbols all over a community affair known as Vice, Blues, and Barbecue.
Right.
One day, Dr. King, you said one day your dream was that one day we Americans would benefit from all the efforts that was done in the Birmingham boycott, would benefit from the Selma March that were able to receive voting rights. We had to benefit from all the protests and sit-ins that integrated our society, giving blacks and poor more rights. But Dr. King, we are still protesting Black Lives Matter. We are still rioting out of frustration. We are still protesting in the streets and marching for justice from Los Angeles to Washington, D.C. So Dr. King, tell me, where do we go from here? Dr. King, tell me, Dr. King, how do we get to that one day, for it has been 52 years, 4 months, and 22 days since you unveiled this great dream? That one day, Dr. King, what do we do? How do we get to that glorious day? That one day that you said. Dr. King said, Joe, I think it's time for you to ignite a movement to love. She sat me down on the bed, wiped away my tears, and told me, Joe, it's time that you go back and you ignite a movement to love. He stood up, paced the room, and crossed his arm and said, Joe, you must tell the university and its surrounding communities that in order for us to reach that glorious day, you must find a way to love one another. He said, Joe, I'm not talking about that romantic love that you might share with your girlfriend. No, I'm not talking about that vital, valuable love that is reciprocated between close friends. No, Joe, I'm talking about that agape love.
Yeah. Come on, Joe.
Love that is understood and creative. Love that has redemptive goodwill for all men. I am talking about disinterested love in which an individual seeks not in his own good, but in the good of his neighbor. That love that seeks to preserve and create community and willing to go to any lengths to restore community. Agape, Joe, agape. He said, Joe, go to my vigil in the Verizon ballroom at the University of Arkansas. Go to my vigil and speak to all of those in attendance and share with them agape, that overflowing love that seeks nothing in return. Go, Joe, and ignite a movement to love. Yeah. So I come to you today with an assignment from Dr. King, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an excitement to ignite a movement to love across campus, to love across Fayetteville and Northwest Arkansas. It'll take a movement of love. It will take a movement that must start now. It must start now, today, now. No longer can we continue in a mindset that time can solve our love problem.
Right.
We can't wait to love each other. We can't wait to love our neighbors. We can't wait to love our classmates. We can't wait to love our coworkers. We can't wait to love our enemies. We can't wait to love our countrymen. You may ask, Joe, why can't we wait? Well, I'll tell you because this 2016 fight for presidency seems to be saturated with hate. Why can't we wait? Because there is a multitude of homeless people across our community, cold, hungry, and begging for someone to love them. Why can't we wait? Because there are too many children on free and reduced lunch who might only receive that one meal that day. Why can't we wait? Because racist bigots need love for them to be freed from a system that's engulfed with hatred and violence. Why can't we wait? Because economic injustice is felt all across races and ethnicities and nationalities. Why can't we wait? Because Muslim Americans are daily being harassed unjustly for the actions of a small group of extremists. But Joe, you might ask, why can't we wait to love? I tell you, because until we learn how to love and work together and utilize the unique gift that each race, religion, nationality, and culture offers, we will always be an underachieving university, an underachieving community, an underachieving state, and an underachieving nation. So, ladies and gentlemen, on today, Dr. King instructs us to ignite a movement at the University of Arkansas, to ignite a movement in the city of Fayetteville, to ignite a movement in Rogers and Springdale and Bentonville, to ignite a movement that replaces hate with love, a movement that replaces fear with love, a movement that replaces violence with love, ignite a movement that to love each other with agape love, which is the God-operating love that's in our hearts. Oh, when one rises to a godly level, he loves. When one rises to a godly level, he loves. University of Arkansas, when one rises to a godly level, to love. He loves not because he likes them. He loves not because they are black or white, man or woman, gay or straight. He loves not because they are rich or poor, not because they went to this school or that school or this church or that church or in this organization or not, or this organization, not because they are Democrat or Republican, not because they are American born or immigrant, not because they are Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Protestant, Catholic, not because they are Mormon, Buddhist, or atheist, but he loves them. He loves each man because God loves him. Is there anybody in here this afternoon who is able to love like that? Is there anyone in this room this afternoon who is willing to love like that? Is there anybody in this room who is ready to ignite this movement of love? If we love like this, children can thrive in their educational and personal development. If we love like this, our government can provide for all Americans and not just that top 1%. If we love like this, fighting within and against racial groups will cease. If we love like this, wars will cease. Hunger will be done. Hunger will go away. Jails will tumble while classrooms are erected. If we love like this, we won't need guns for protection, for it's agape. That's the only love and the only weapon that we will need. If we love like this, members of the KKK and members of the NAACP can join together in brotherhood. If we love like this, if we love like God loves us, then we truly will be one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. When we love like this, we will get to that one day. We will get to the mountaintop. We will join Dr. King in the promised land and tell him ourselves, Martin, your dream has been fulfilled. That dream, that one day, is today. Yeah. Thank you.
The University of Arkansas Inspirational Singers began by the University Administrator, Dr. Harry Budd, and a few students. In 1990, Dr. Eddie Jones accepted a music faculty position at the University of Arkansas, and one of his responsibilities was to conduct the U of A Inspirational Singers. Under Jones's leadership, the ensemble became an ensemble offered for credit to University of Arkansas students and grew in size from about 22 students to over 60 students, and began to travel systematically throughout the state and the region as unofficial ambassadors of the university. After Dr. Jones' passing in October, the choral has been overseen by Dr. Stephen Caldwell and Stephen Ivey. Dr. Jones spent many years participating in this vigil, and by request of the Northwest Arkansas MLK Council and the Associated Student Government, this performance is dedicated to Dr. Eddie Jones, who certainly furthered the dream of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in his everyday life and his career accomplishments, and the impact he was able to have on students at the University of Arkansas. With that, please help me in welcoming the University of Arkansas Inspirational Singers.
one day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Oh, one day. Glory. Oh, glory. Oh, glory. Ooh, glory. Oh, glory. Glory. Glory.
Glory. Hands to the heavens, no man, no weapon formed against. Yes, glory is destined. Every day, women and men become legends. Sins to go against our skin become blessings. The movement is a rhythm to us. Freedom is like religion to us. Justice is juxtaposition in us. Justice for all just ain't specific enough. One son died, his spirit is revisiting us. True and living in us, resistance is us. That's why Rosie sat on the bus. That's why we march through Ferguson with our hands up. When it go down, we woman and man up. They say stay down, and we stand up. Shots be on the ground, the camera pan up. King pointed to the mountaintop, and we ran up.
oh, one day.
Yeah, come on now.
It'll be ours. It'll be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we'll be sure. We'll be sure. Oh, Lord.
Glory,
Yeah, Lord.
glory,
Oh, Lord.
glory, glory, glory,
Yeah, one day.
glory,
It'll be ours.
glory,
It'll be ours.
glory.
Selma's down for every man, woman, and child. They march with the torch, we gon' roll with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, heroes, to become a hero. Facing League of Justice, his power was a people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under the bald eagle. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing, our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream he had an epiphany. Now we right the wrongs in history. No one can win a war individually. It takes the wisdom of the elders and young people's energy. Welcome to the story we call victory. The coming of the Lord. My eyes have seen the glory.
All right, big girl.
When the glory comes,
Wow.
it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day. When the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh,
Glory, glory, glory.
Charles Robinson III.
we will be ours.
Big time.
It'll be ours.
Big down.
Oh, one day, when the glory comes, it'll be ours. It'll be ours. Oh, glory,
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 oh, glory,
glory,
glory.
glory, 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 glory.
I got the honor, the blessing of being able to sing with this chorale just a few years ago when I was an undergraduate here at the university, and so did my son Vincent Barrios. So I think Dr. Jones would be proud. That was beautiful, beautiful. What do you think?
Yeah.
I think Dr. Jones would be proud.
Very proud. That was awesome. Ooh, gives me chills.
That was beautiful.
To close out our program, we're going to hear from the Associated Student Government Director of Campus Diversity, Taylor Farr. As Director of Campus Diversity, Taylor has worked on establishing a diversity council and created Red Talks, which serve as a forum to educate students, faculty, and staff of the University of Arkansas on important issues like diversity, sexual assault awareness, and more. Please welcome Taylor Farr.
I don't know how I'm supposed to follow up a performance like that.
Right.
There's two fears that I not only have as a speaker, but as someone who puts on events such as Red Talks. And the first one is you're incredibly afraid that two people are basically going to have the same thing and it gets really boring, and you're afraid someone's going to steal what someone else says, and then what you have to say doesn't really mean anything anymore. The other thing that is probably even more fearsome is that the two people talking back to back have complete opposing views, and they're both going to say them, and then you freak out because then your whole event just exploded. And as I sit here and watch this event today, those fears are not here at all. It was beautiful to see people talking over different aspects and different diverse topics of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and our world today, and they just so seamlessly went together over and over again. And maybe I can tie it up in a little bit of ribbon for you and take it out with you through this door. If you haven't come to realize it yet, this day is not just about remembering a man, but it's about benchmarking and reflecting on his ideas and benchmarking them to our society today. We like to bring up this word diversity. It's in my title, and it's kind of funny because it does have its place, but today it seems a little just irrelevant. Because if you look at our community, we have 300 Fortune 500 companies here in Northwest Arkansas, and we're in a university that literally enrolls students from across the world. You look in a classroom and there are different ethnics, there are different socioeconomic people, there are people that speak different languages than you, people that have different religious beliefs than you. And so the diversity, at least the outside view of it, is existent. So the word that means more to me at least is inclusion. And inclusion is what Dr. Martin Luther King spoke about. That's what he had a dream about, is for all of us to be inclusive of each other and care about what we're speaking of and respecting each other. Inclusion is something we must continually practice, though the diversity comes easy. We must address each other by the content of our character rather than anything else, the million other differences that we share between each other that make us diverse. If you were to scroll through Dr. King's quotes and Google all of his most memorable quotes on Google, or look through the multiple tweets today, there's a big common thread here that Joseph hit just straight on, and that is love. It's the one thing that can see Dr. King's dream to fruition. Sure, as the Associated Student Government, it is our job to diversify our organization and campus, but more importantly, it's our job to help unify an already diverse community. But until we, as the people of this community, decide to make a change for ourselves, we will continue to live in a world of injustice. So I charge you students and members of the community to embrace the one thing that can make all of the difference: love. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Taylor, and thank you all for being here today. The Associated Student Government is honored to have the chance to host the 2016 Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Vigil. Following this event, there will be a reception in the Arvest Bank lobby in downtown Fayetteville at 2 o'clock.